Okay, hello and welcome to the shop. This is just a quick video I have on the Zenith portable record player that I got. And I actually have two of these, but the other one is not a Zenith, but it shares pretty much the same internal components. This one is in very nice condition. As you can see, it's got red Tolex here on the front, and it's got a really nice speaker grill with the Zenith emblem here and the Zenith logo here. And I mean, Zenith, man, it was just the highest quality stuff. You know, their stuff lasts forever. You know, you change a couple capacitors and stuff will work like new again. And Zenith was really known for putting the quality into their products before anything else. As their slogan suggested, the quality goes in before the name goes on. So, overall, this thing is in nice condition. Here's what the inside looks like, and it's really nice unit here. I've got the power cord, and I have the volume and tone, and I have the tone arm here. It needs a new cartridge, both of them do, so I'm going to have to order the correct cartridge for it and find a suitable replacement. These both use a single vacuum tube, an audio output tube. This one has a 25L6 tube in it, and the other one has a 25, I believe it's a EH5, something like that. It's an audio output tube. It's a miniature version, and you can see some nice red felt on the turntable platter here. And I have the chassis loose because I already overhauled the amplifier in this one. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the cabinet here. I'm going to put the tone arm back down, and I'm going to pull it out of the cabinet, and I'm going to show you what I have done to it. I have some new wire here that I'm going to use to replace a speaker wire, as the speaker wire, someone cut it and it's just real short and not very practical anymore. I have the bottom plate for the amplifier in there, and of course the speaker. And I'm going to go ahead and, for now, I'm going to move the cabinet out of the way so that we can have a look at the unit itself. I'm going to use some wooden boards here to go ahead and support it on the bench. That's what I used to when I worked on it. So let me see if I can get this positioned here. Put it on one side, and I'll see if I can go ahead and position it. Okay, so I have already overhauled this unit. Let's see if I can zoom in on the amplifier here. So it's a very simple, as they get, one tube amplifier with our 25L6 filter capacitor, which I have not changed yet, but for now, I know it's not very good practice, but for now I'm just going to leave it alone. There's no hum in the audio, the capacitor tests good, and if it does ever go bad, I can easily replace it. But I have replaced the two capacitors in here that have gone bad, just over the years from age, you know, the wax paper capacitors. I replaced the chassis isolation capacitor here that isolates the 120 volts from the power switch to the chassis with a proper XY rated safety capacitor. As you can see, I make a nice mechanical connection before I solder. I replaced that. I also replaced the one coupling capacitor. I believe that's a coupling capacitor, unless that's a tone capacitor. I haven't really studied the circuit very much, but it's real simple. And I just looped the wires around and replaced that one with a proper 0.05 microfarad capacitor. And I made a nice and strong mechanical connection. You always want to make a mechanical connection before you solder. You don't just want to lay the wires on top of each other and blob solder over them, because solder by itself is not a good way to mechanically strengthen a connection. It's important to loop the wires over and make a tight mechanical connection before you solder. Always remember that. That's what I did with this capacitor here. And here's one of the speaker wires that I have to go ahead and replace along with this one here. I'm going to run some new wire. Here's the wire that goes to the cartridge up to the tone arm here. And here's the motor. This uses a proper AC motor. I'm going to have to take the motor apart and oil it and all that, and oil the mechanism and check the idler wheel and that stuff. But for now it works, so I guess I'll get my audio generator, RF, it's really an RF generator going up here, but I'm going to output an audio signal, and we're going to go ahead and test this thing out. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to bring the cabinet back over here. See if I can do that. I'm going to put the cabinet off to the side over here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab some alligator clips, and I'm going to go ahead and connect the speaker wires back up to the amplifier. So let me see if I can grab my alligator clips real fast. Hang on one moment, I think they're over at the other part of the shop here. Get my alligator leads. I'm going to go ahead and use my proper clips. One moment till I find them. I think they're, I set them over here. Oh, here they are. Okay. And also I have the one coupling capacitor that I had to replace. That would be this one right here, which was the grid coupling capacitor to the output tube. I replaced that. So let's just get some clip leads here. And I'm going to go ahead and connect the speaker back up to the output. And the audio output transformer is mounted to the speaker, by the way. So let's see if I can do this here. I'm just going to go ahead and clip the speaker back into circuit real fast here, because I still have to make up the wires, as I said. And someone put heat shrink on these leads, but never shrunk it down. I don't know, who did that, but so there we go. Our speaker's connected. So now we'll go over to the amplifier here, and we'll do the same thing. We'll just run the wires right up to the amplifier. And you know what? For now, I'm just going to clip the one side, of course, to the B plus coming off the rectifier. That's where it's supposed to go. I'm just going to make sure I'm not shorting out anything here. Okay, because I didn't strip this wire back because I have to replace it. So the speaker's clipped in. Make sure it's not getting in the way of the motor here. Run these wires over. Okay, so the speaker's clipped in here. Our new capacitor's replaced. Let's go ahead and get out some leads here for my signal generator. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and connect the audio output of my RF/AF generator here. And we're going to use this knob here to adjust our audio frequency. And this is just putting out a straight tone audio frequency. And I'm going to go ahead and connect that right across the input, so where the cartridge goes, because like I said, the cartridge is bad. So I'm going to clip one side across the input here, and then I'm going to clip the other right on the input there to the cartridge. So there we go. So we have our audio signal connected. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out once again here. And let's see, we'll turn it on, and I'll get the volume turned up partially. Okay, and now I'm going to plug the power cord into my Variac here, and I'll power it up. So let me see if I can bend over and plug this in to my variable supply, and let's fire it up and see if we hear that tone through the speaker, just to demonstrate that the amplifier works. And also, while I'm here, I'll get out my voltmeter, and I'll show you what the B plus voltage measures. So we'll get out the voltmeter here. Long lead. Set that for DC 200. Hopefully, I'll have to zoom in on the camera so we can see the voltmeter, but I'm just going to go ahead and ground the ground side of the meter. I'm just grabbing a clip lead. So here's a ground lead for the ground side of the meter. I'm just going to clip that to the chassis. That's the negative side. And then we'll have our positive probe here. We'll be able to probe some voltages in the set. You probably can't see the meter, but I'll adjust the camera. So enough of my talking. Let's fire it up. Here we go. Okay, we'll let it warm up a minute, and then we'll turn up the volume, and we'll see if we can hear that tone from the generator coming out of the speaker here. And might be able to see the mechanism moving here. And like I said, this uses a single 25L6 audio output tube. So I guess we'll start off by measuring the B plus voltage. I hope you can see my multimeter. Does it help if I turn the light off? No. Let's see. I hope you can see that meter. Let's zoom in on it a little bit. Put it out in front here. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that now. So we'll go ahead now and we'll probe the positive side of the rectifier here. Okay, coming off the rectifier, this is going to drop as the tube warms up, but we have 124 volts DC. And let's see if we hear anything. Turn the volume up here. Okay, hang on a second. Maybe my speaker leads aren't connected right. Because I was getting a... It's like the tube wasn't warming up. No, it was. The tube was warming up. Because usually the B plus voltage will drop when the tube warms up. Let me just check my wires here. I just want to make sure I was getting a good bite on that rectifier lead. And I'm going to check my connections over here at the speaker. Because that should have dropped. So one moment here, I'm just going to verify my connections. Okay, so let me just kind of verify this again. Let me make sure I'm injecting the signal. Okay, the leads are hooked up. We're outputting an AF audio signal. And we should have heard something there. So let's fire it up again and see if I can produce that again. Because last time this thing worked just fine. And actually a good thing to note with this, I wonder if it's doing it again. When I first got it, oh, there we go. There we go. So I must have just had a bad connection on my speaker lead. But as I wanted to say, when I first got this amplifier and powered it up, I was getting nothing out of the output. I clipped in a new capacitor and everything. I wasn't getting anything. I assumed the tube was good. You know, I subbed another tube in there, nothing. So I wasn't getting any output, and I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And it just popped into life all of a sudden. You know, it was dead, and then it just started working. So I don't know if one of the components was not making contact and it just snapped into life or what. But let's check our voltage on the rectifier now. Okay, there we go. We're down to the proper 112 or so volts that we had before. Coming out of the rectifier, we have 110 volts DC coming out of the rectifier tube, or selenium rectifier. And of course, as we see, the audio, if I crank up the signal, you can hear we have a nice clear sine wave coming out of it. So it's working. So I just wanted to demonstrate to you that the audio amp was working. So I guess I can go ahead and disconnect the signal now. So the one thing that I have to do with this is I have to get a cartridge for it. And then that's really about it. I just wanted to kind of demonstrate to you what I did to it, that I restored the amplifier. And I'm going to go ahead and replace the speaker wires, and then I'm going to change out maybe check some of the resistors, see if they're good, and then I'll put the bottom panel back on. And that should really do it. I'm going to take the motor apart, I'm going to oil it, and check the speaker connections over here on the transformer and make sure they're good, stuff like that. But I just wanted to give you a rundown on the condition of this thing and what I'm going to do to it. And I have another one, like I said, I'm probably going to make a separate video on that one when I get around to restoring it. So that's really about it. This thing's going to be very reliable once I get those new speaker wires put in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and check the tube and do stuff like that. I have to get the new cartridge, like I said, and then it should be good to go. Like I said, I'm going to oil the mechanism, and that's really about it. But yeah, Zenith quality, man, you can't beat it. Zenith just built the stuff to last, you know. I've seen All-American 5 radios, all original disc capacitors that don't go bad. The thing's been laying outside for 20 years or something, and someone restores it, you know, repairs it, resurrects it, whatever, and it works. And that's just a testament that the quality really did go in before the name went on at Zenith. And it's just a shame that all these companies are just brand names now, that they don't make anything like this anymore, you know. Like, for example, I have an RCA tube box here. It says RCA, the most trusted name in electronics. You know, you just don't see that anymore with the modern stuff. And that's really what's lacking in today's products. Like my Sencor box up here. It says Sencor, quality at its finest, right here. You know, performance, portability, and professional reliability. And that just goes to show you, you know, the quality that these companies put into their products back then. It wasn't all about profit, you know. And it's just a shame that we can't have anything like that anymore. But that's really about it. I just wanted to show you the Zenith. Let's see what model this is. This is a, let me get the cabinet here. See if we can look at the nameplate. This is a model AP6. Model AP6. This is a Zenith AP6 portable record player. And it's just a real simple one-tube amplifier. And I'm glad that I was able to replace both capacitors and restore the amplifier. So now all this thing's going to need, like I said, is a new cartridge and needle. So that's really about it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching this, and please stay tuned for more to come later. And I'll be sure to make more videos pretty soon here. I'll probably make another one testing this tube and show you some other cool stuff that I have coming along the way. So again, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.